Ooh, right, hello everybody. I have got in my hands today the Lobo Big Fraggin Compendium #1. It is over 1,200 pages of glorious Lobo comics from mostly the 1990s, but there's a little bit of 80s stuff in here as well. It includes, well, we've actually got the list of the comics here. It's so many comics, actually. It's on 2 pages. But you've got Lobo's first appearance in the Omega Men, the first 4 issues of the Lobo miniseries, or I should say all 4 issues of the Lobo miniseries, his appearances in the Demon, which is from issues 11 through to 15, excuse me, the Lobo Paramilitary Christmas special, all of Lobo's back, Lobo's Blazing Chain of Love, Infanticide, Portrait of a Victim, Un-American Gladiators, Lobo Convention Special, Lobo Annual 1, LoboCop, Lobo's number 1 through 9, I think, including issue 0 there. Green Lantern Corps Quarterly, number 8. Superman Man of Steel 30. Lobo A Contract on God. And there's Lobo in the Chair and Lobo Annual 2 and his Who's Who profile on the final page. So this is a pretty comprehensive collection of early Lobo comics, probably some of the best ones. This first appearance in Omega Men number 3, it takes a while for him to turn up. I might have gone past it already, actually. No, there we go. There's his first appearance right there. He looks a little bit different. His personality is a little bit different as well. He's not like some crude, lewd biker dude. He looks a bit more like a glam rocker, I suppose. But don't hold that against him. We almost immediately get straight into the Lobo we know and love, and I really adore this cover here, the Simon Bisley painted cover for Lobo #1. This is essentially the Lobo that we all know now, with his space dolphins there, and I don't want to spoil this too much. And flipping through this, there are going to probably be some inappropriate things for general YouTube audiences. But you have to remember that these comics are glorious satire. They're not intended to be taken seriously or emulated in any way, shape or form. What's this one? Is this the Demon? Looks like it's, yeah, the Demon. Oh, interesting, okay. Yeah, so, I mean, they're probably not my favourite ones. Oh, but Alan Grant did write these. So, if you didn't already know, Alan Grant is one of the primary writers from Lobo. The Lobo comics, I should say. He teamed up with Keith Giffen, who is the co-creator of Lobo, for many of the early appearances. And Alan Grant would go on to write Lobo's ongoing series, which lasted, what? Ooh, nearly 70 issues, I think. It might even have been slightly more than that. But the Demon is another kind of over-the-top character, although perhaps not as satirical. Let's see if we can get past that. Oh, more Demon. What's this one? Is this Paramilitary Christmas special? Yes, it is. The one where Lobo is hired by the Easter Bunny to take out Father Christmas. There we go. There's the Easter Bunny right there. And he takes out Santa in... So this one is, there was a fan movie version of this made years ago. I want to say more than 15 years ago. It's probably still on YouTube. You should check it out if you can find it. I remember being really impressed by it. I hope it still holds up because I've not watched it in a long time. Let's have a look. Lobo's back. Yes, so this is the story that deals with Lobo becoming immortal because when he is killed and goes to heaven, he causes too much ruckus. So they send him to hell. And he causes too much ruckus, and yes, he gets resurrected, or reincarnated, I should say, but as a woman. And then when he gets killed again, he's back in the afterlife. They try again, and he comes back as a squirrel, basically. And then it's at this point that they decide, all right, send him back in his original body, and don't let him back in heaven or hell. And so that's how Lobo becomes immortal. Lobo's Blazing Chain of Love. Now, I own this, and I've read it, but I don't remember an awful lot about it. It's not one that stuck in my mind. That doesn't mean it's not good. It's just not necessarily one that I recall. Infanticide I remember being quite fun because it's about all of Lobo's illegitimate offspring teaming up to try and kill him. Yeah, you can see that his offspring all have some resemblance to him, like the black eye markings there, partial moustache and eye marking there. Or I suppose it's a mouth marking, isn't it, rather than an actual moustache. But I like to think of it as a moustache. But yeah, there's absolutely loads of glorious over-the-top Lobo comics, including... Oh, this is Portrait of a Victim. For a second then I thought this was his ongoing series, but his ongoing series is in here too. And Unamerican Gladiators. Delightful stuff. Let's see if we can get to the ongoing series, because there was a fun joke. Oh, the convention special. Oh, could I possibly skip past this and not talk about it? So yeah, this is this is a story about Lobo going to a comic convention to track down what he thinks to be a priceless copy of the Death of Superman comic. So he goes, I think this is supposed to be San Diego. I remember there being water in near the convention center in San Diego. I might be misremembering though, because I only drove past it. Right, what am I looking for? So there's his annual, so we'll be coming up on the ongoing series shortly. The thing that I wanted to highlight, LoboCop as well. Now this is a really funny opening to LoboCop, so they have to make it very clear that this is a parody. It's not intended to be confused with RoboCop. They are not trying to make money off of RoboCop. This once again, this is a parody of RoboCop. It is not RoboCop itself. Now go frag. Yes. Here we go. So this joke right here is kind of lost slightly, because on Lobo #1 it had a foil in well, I suppose you call it a foil, a chrome metallic cover enhancement, so it was embossed with the shiny reflective chrome zipper on his fly. It says, I've got your cover enhancement right here. Unfortunately, it's not included in here. I don't know how it could be, but you still kind of get the joke. I remember really liking these Lobo comics when I was a kid, because they're just massively over the top and weird and just funny. I want to get to the Lobo Annual in a minute, the second Lobo Annual that's included in this. Well, I'll mention it when it comes up. Oh yeah, the Green Lantern issue. Now, I've never read this one, so this will be one I'll be interested in reading. But I'm going to skip over it for now because I'm not familiar with it. Similarly, I don't think I ever read this issue of Man of Steel. Funnily enough, I can remember not liking John Bogdanov's art very much when I was a kid. But looking at it here, it's really expressive and... yeah, I mean, it's just expressive and fun and cartoony. I really actually quite like it now. Maybe I should track down some more Superman comics. Anyway, Lobo series. Yeah, more of these. Great stuff. And they make a lot of like fun references to... This isn't an issue of the Lobo series. I skipped past what this one was. What is it? Was it a contract on God? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know I have that, but I just can't remember anything about it. It's got some like religious references in it, so that's probably why I kind of zoned it out of my mind a little bit. Yeah, I'm getting near the end now. So the last thing in the book before the Who's Who entry is the Lobo Annual I wanted to reference, which is an Elseworlds annual. So it's basically full of stories about Lobo in the Chair. That was another good one. Love the art on this, Martin Emmond. Yeah, really dark and expressive art. Again, I've used that word expressive twice. You can see I've increased my vocabulary from interesting to expressive. But this Lobo Elseworld Annual's full of like references to Western movies. I think some of the, a fistful of bastages. So bring that down so you can see it a bit better. Instead of a fistful of dollars. Geronimo. So it's all like Western themed Lobo stories. Frag 'em high instead of hang 'em high. The Lone Fragger and Taunt Bow. Working on the Railroad. Fistful of Frag. Treasure of the Sierra Lobo. Bonanza. Yeah, it's great. Great stuff. Yeah, so we're getting to the end. Don't want to spoil the final page. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, there's nothing really to spoil. But then you end up with the Who's Who entry on Lobo. So if you're reading this from page to page, by the final page, you get to read who Lobo actually is, and his history, and his powers and weapons. It is a slight shame that his appearances in Legion weren't included somehow, even if it was just his pages. They've kind of got some necessary stuff for the character, although they do reference it. Actually, if I open this up and see if I can find a Lobo Zero, they do reference, yeah, here we go. They do reference the events from Legion, such as Lobo, where is it? Somewhere around here. Here we go. So Lobo being able to grow copies of himself from a drop of his own blood, being used by Vrildox to fight his war, and then Vrildox beating him after. Lobo refers to it as a castration, but it takes away his ability to grow clones of himself. So that's not in there, but they do mention it in here. It's kind of a shame that it's not there at all, because you've just seen here from the Lobo ongoing series, one of the main storylines from that first sort of 10 issues involved Lobo fighting a clone of himself, one of the clones that had escaped from the war that he fought for Vrildox. But hey, it's not the end of the world. They make reference to it here. You learn everything you need to know without having to be bogged down by, you know, who Vrildox is or the rest of the Legion. Anyway, I think that's it. If you're at all interested in Lobo, then I recommend picking this up. It's probably the cheapest way to get your hands on all of these Lobo comics. How much did it cost? It says $60 USA. I think I paid about £40 for it. It might have been under 40, I think, which is a good deal, I think, for 1,200 pages of comics. That's it. Any questions about it, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer in the comments. Thank you very much. Take care.